Hello and welcome to another video conversations on Awaz-e-Haqiqat, which translates to the voice of truth. I'm your host, Chris Malika Bhadra, and depending on whichever part of the world you're watching us from or listening to us from, I'm joined by someone very special. I have known this family for close to a decade now. They are second family to me in Melbourne. They loved me with open arms when I didn't know anyone in this country. And today, Goutam Da or Goutam Basak, as you can see on my screen, he is an entrepreneur and author, and today's discussion is dedicated to his journey and how he believes that entrepreneurship, mental well-being, and spirituality are the best bet for our roads ahead. And before we formally start the conversation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting tonight, the people of the Kulin Nation, and I would also like to pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. So a bit about Gautam Da, or I will refer to him as Gautam Da because that's how I refer to him outside of this conversation as well. From a small Indian town to a serial entrepreneur in Melbourne, Gautam Da's journey is a blend of creativity, grit, humor, non-conformity, spirituality, and many more. His latest venture, Mentally Plus, helps to support mental well-being in organizations, reflecting his commitment to supporting others in their personal and professional growth as well. Gautam Das mantra, embrace the entrepreneurial drive, creative spark, and the thrill of exploring new horizons to redefine your life, inspire others, and change the world. On that note, Gautam, thank you so much for giving me this time. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me, first of all. And you are doing a good job. So keep doing it.
Thank you. No, the pleasure is all mine because when I have people like you, it's like my mindset increases, my horizon increases. But also, Gautam, before I think we proceed, you and I both are aware of the incident that took place at RG Kor Hospital in India. So just for our listeners, someone just lost her life very tragically. Incidents like these should not be happening. So I'm just using this 1 second or 1 minute of all our time here to express concern and solidarity for the soul that we lost. Gautam, any thoughts on that?
Yes, I mean, like, I would like to add one more thing. It's just a support to that incidents to the family and whoever is doing that protest on the street. I mean, in today's day and age, why we need this type of or this big sacrifice to ask for a change. This is not acceptable. I mean, we passed those barbaric time, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad that today's date it's happening. Hopefully, things will change for good.
Yes, we are standing with the family, but unfortunately, harsh it may sound, but life has to kind of go on. So, coming back to you, Gautam, putting the spotlight on you tonight, um, starting with the fact that you are an accomplished author now. So, please tell us about the journey when you started as a student so many years ago to becoming an author and entrepreneur on a Western soil. How has that road looked like for you so far?
Yes, it was definitely a roller coaster ride. And I came here as a student. And then, as usual, like other immigrants, I started applying for different jobs. Initially, I did some odd jobs and then finally got into IT, what I studied here in Griffith University, Gold Coast. But in that corporate world, actually, I didn't find any like a fulfillment. Yes, I was surviving. I was surviving well, but not enough creativity, not enough like you know, mm, not enough thing which I can really proud for myself. And I actually coming from a business family, so maybe that actually put some seed in my head, and I wanted to do business.
Right.
Um, from early days.
Mm.
So that thing is was clear, and my journey of like settling down in this new country was actually like keeping that vision in mind.
Absolutely.
That's why typical like other immigrants, I mean, the moment they get a better job, they get a better car or buying a house or so I was like I also wanted that. I still want that. It's not that I hate that kind of thing, but always the priority was I have to be cushioned that much so that I can take that plunge.
Right.
And and like I guess whatever you want, universe also tries to help you,
Mm.
hate you. push you, whatever. I made redundant many times in my life. And 2012, 13, that period was really, really tough for me because second kid born and I was out of job. And how come another job will change my life? Those kind of questions also, came in my head, and like I'm wasting time. There is no direction in life, and it was a very chaotic and confused state.
Right.
And from that time, I actually, like, luckily, I got some people in my life who kind of helped to change the path of my life and plunged into entrepreneurship. So I have, in last 11 years, I'm self-employed now. I tried many things. I will try many things, and I have no shame in that. I'm not focused in one particular thing. Some people don't like that, but I like that about myself. Um, and this entrepreneurship journey actually changed the meaning of life for me, and changed the way I see the world, changed the way I see life as a whole,
Right.
so to speak. And it also helped me to engage and um, build relationship with some people who are phenomenal, and they are not typical 9 to 5 job people. They have greater ideas, they are doing good for the society, they have very big uh, vision what they want to do for humanity and so on. So for me personally, I mean, entrepreneurship not only helped my career, but also helped my life as a whole. So, and that's why I really always push for entrepreneurship. So, and coming back to why I become an author, because one professor actually, he's University of Melbourne, one professor and one professor back in India, from my state, Kolkata, from my city, Kolkata. So he said that whenever you are going for a meeting, you normally give a business card. Okay, these days no one is giving business card, but instead of business card, if you give a book, it has better, bigger impact. That idea actually I liked it. That's why I wrote 2016. I published a book, Think Like a Migrant, Act Like a Local. And but the new book, which is 8 billion clients, um, I wrote it's again what I would like to say, like to do with my life, with my work, with my business. I put together in that book.
Amazing. Thank you, Gautam. Your journey is very inspiring, and how much I've seen you in 10 years. It's been a fantastic experience knowing you, and I just hope your experience helps many more new migrant people in building their dreams.
That's my hope as well.
Absolutely. But Gautam, one of your topics that you've mentioned quite often is mental health, right? You've written
Yes.
about it. You speak of mental health, which is amazing. What ignites your passion towards mental health? And in your opinion, why are South Asians still not very openly talking about it?
Hmm. The story actually began in 2012. As I mentioned before, I was out of job, second kid born, wife was on maternity leave. So that time, and I was directionless. It's like basically that idea that how come another job will change my life. That bit was there with me. So I need some direction. I need something to fall back on. Okay. I didn't know about depression or anything like that. I mean, 2012, no one was talking about it. It was like awareness were not there.
Exactly.
So because I end up, bumping some people, one of them luckily was mental health first aider, and he basically kind of pointed out there is something wrong in me, and he pushed me to go and see a doctor. And then I realized that okay, um, I had depression at that point of time, an anxiety problem, and like doctor kind of treated me. So I slowly becoming well. But during that time, when you are going through that pressure cooker situation, you don't like really the frills of life. You need something real, something real, really touching you and stuff like that. During that time, one of my friends actually introduced me Sadhguru in my life. So that aspect of spirituality and like medication for mental illness and all these things, the journey started from there. And I slowly becoming that I could see that this problem, no one is talking, but there should be some talking, some awareness needs to be there.
Yeah.
So I tried to do since 2012 and 13. I tried to do something in mental health, at least some awareness generation. In 2016, 17, my business was not doing well. I was I was like looking for a short-term contract. And in one interview, they asked, and I was very vocal about it, that I had depression problem. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that I was big mouth. Later, I learned that I may not have, I have like a personality disorder or borderline disorder. So that's why probably I was a bit more open about it, but I was open about it, just like a very normal to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got rejected because they said, why are you speaking all these? So, and like in my community, one of my friend also said, like, why you saying your weakness to the world? I mean, I had no answer to it, but like I kept at it. I mean, happily and like with like extended my chest. I was like, okay, I have to tell, I have to tell, I have to tell. Now the whole thing kind of changed after COVID. Okay, so now people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Are they talking about like realistically? Not, because from 2012 13, when I started reading about it, I started reading about it from very different angle, just to gather more information and understanding it. In Western society, there was no cultural angle to mental health.
Right.
At all. And during that time, there are a couple of doctors, Dr. Dinesh Bogra and Dr. Vikram Patel. They are psychiatrists very known around the world. I read some of their writings and listened some of their lectures, and they basically pointed out these things. There should be a cultural angle into mental health care system, and and like a cultural psychiatry is one major thing in UK that time already came. Looks like after COVID, it is started coming in Australian healthcare. At least in South Australia, I experienced that thing already came. And another thing is after COVID, especially, that people or the system realized that lived experienced mental health people are very important, because they see things very differently.
Right.
Than like if you are educated in so and so things, the way you are seeing it, the experienced people are seeing it very differently.
Yeah.
And another thing also I realized, that when a lived through experience, let's say depression or anxiety, talking to someone who is facing the challenge, the initial shame, guilt barrier kind of comes down dramatically. Okay. So the reason is we are like South Asians, we are coming from a collective society. And collective society people, always there are someone around you all the time when we're growing up. Now we are in individualistic society, yes, we have friends and all, but that emotional cushioning as such we don't have. And uh, all the developed countries like Australia, US, or anything, where people are born and brought up, they are very much aware, and the norm is, if you having a problem, go and seek a professional.
Exactly.
But coming from a collective society, our norm is not a professional. Our norm is talking to a friends, talking to a parent, and when I was going through this in 2012, 13, now I think and see how my wife actually, like gone through uh, the whole drama, because she also didn't have anything. And like few of my friends said, oh, it's nothing. It's like you are weak and all these things. So those rubbish, I mean, I knew it was rubbish, but I had no answer to it. Okay. Now I like wear this badge that, okay, I am contributing into mental health. I wear it I'm very proud of it. So, and that's why still in our, like, people who are from collective society, or people, the clan who are more family oriented clans, in that kind of families or areas, still people are talking less because they are not open up about their own emotions. And it's still, I mean, taboo is like weakness and shame and guilt and, you know,
Yeah.
all these things. So because of like keeping all these things in mind, and that's why Mentally Plus, as you mentioned, it's a like a product. It's a web-based product as currently, where we will basically trying to solve this problem by, um, at least if you are having some problem. Now, some problem means I'm talking about mental health can come, mental illness can come for various reasons. Okay, it's not necessarily have to be always financial or relationship. I heard stories, uh, like domestic violence is one thing. I heard stories sexual abuse in their early childhood phases, or they have seen their parents like always in a dissatisfied relationship.
Yeah.
So all these things actually manifest very differently when we grow up and when we see things and judge things, right? And typically another, when I was writing this book, there was another incident also came to me, is a single mother raising a boy, and that single mother is always complaining and punishing basically to the man, and the boy grow up, and the boy is very confused, because he doesn't know how to trust a man, and he is so much in his cocoon that he also doesn't know how to open up himself in front of the other sexual oriented people. So it's utterly confused. So if you are, and like someone is widowed because of like some accident or disability or bullying or tremendous stress of a job or whatever, if you know someone is going through that, if you know someone who put their hands up that, okay, I like to talk, those things actually, uh, I mean, scientifically it's also proved that it's tremendously helped to bring the barrier down so that they can talk. And early intervention is very crucial in mental health, because when the cooking is done in your head fully, then then I mean, maybe chemical treatment, which is like medication, is the only way. But if when the cooking is not done fully, you are on the way. If intervention, whatever way, can be done properly, we can do much more justice to the world.
Yeah. Thank you, Goutam. Which brings me to a question which is just coming out of based on what I heard from you, right? I fully support the fact that you should be vocal about it. In fact, I have been vocal about my journey as well, and how it took your partner to kind of come to terms, because we are not aware of what's happening. Even my mom wasn't aware of what's happening with me. But you also mentioned about reaching out to your close friends and family for just support and talking about. What about that internalized racism that comes out, that judgment that you face when you're talking about it? How do you tackle that issue when you see you're being judged or ostracized by your own close set of friends or your own society? How do you think that problem can be taken care of?
In my experience, because I am like extrovert, and because I am, I mean, personality wise, I'm like an openness personality. So I always seek, I mean, that's my normal way of being. I always go out and try to find solution, anything and everything. Okay. So for me, one friend said, that's your weakness. I didn't stop there. I keep telling, because that was my natural way.
Right.
Okay. Now, how they will judge? Now, I mean, I say to like young people and my friend also, just when you are struggling with anything, try to find someone who has more experience than you. So mental health, if you don't know they are going through mental health, at least talk to someone who has more life experience than you.
Right.
So if you are talking, I mean, my kids are teenagers now. I always talk to them like, whenever you have a problem, don't talk to your friends because their experience also more or less similar like you. So in any situation, try to find someone who has more experience than you. Then you might get an answer.
Yeah.
Might not, because some, like people who are, let's say, over 10-year, 15-year old, they might also coming from the like a baggage of, all those, like a patriarchal society, or
Yes.
those baggage also can come into play.
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to, if you really are eager to get the answer from bottom of your heart, keep trying, you will get it. So for me, it was all like, why? Because at one point of time, I was like feeling that one part of me is saying that I'm not right, there is something wrong. One part is definitely struggling, but would like to be in that cocoon, you know. So like there was some lot of questions. So I addressed it like spiritually, doctors, talking, all whatever way. These are the ways I thought these are the possible ways for me. Some people might find, in writing, some people might whatever, but bloody get it out. That's the main thing. So yeah, I mean, talk to people, because in mental health, or as we are becoming more and more individualistic, as our like socializing or social areas are like shrinking and shrinking, human communication is very, 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 very important. You cannot just like read few books or listening some lectures and Facebook reels. Now human talk. And that's what we are insisting with our mentally plus product, insisting that have that human intervention.
Thank you, Gautam. The very relevant thoughts. And I just wanted to let our audience know that if any of you who are watching us, if any of you who are struggling with your mental health, or if this conversation is distressing you, please feel free to step out and do what you need to do to keep your mental sanity. Or if you think you need therapy, please go and seek help, as Gautam mentioned.
And here, I would like to mention one more thing. I mean, maybe like you asked it already, is that like people always like see mental well-being or mental illness as like a very one linear thing. It's not a linear thing. In my research, I really found it's called Dance of Life, and it is written by Professor Helen Milroy. And what she suggested is, and she actually did it for Aboriginal society in Australia, but I guess it's all over. It's the same thing. And what she suggested and is, you have to see like 5 different ways about your mental health. Okay, so one is physical, one is psychological, one is social, one is spiritual, and one is cultural. So now people might say, okay, why culture? Culture is all the immigrant, we feel lonely. If we are not mingling with our community, like profoundly, we feel lonely. And that loneliness can bring to, okay, maybe I have a good job, good car, but, whom should I talk in the weekend? Spiritual in the sense like there should be some fallback on. I mean, whatever I have, some gratitude, whatever I have, I am grateful. And that gratitude, that sense of contentment only can come if you are a little bit of spiritual. I'm not talking about religious. It's like some fallback at your own corner within you. Physical, definitely health is one part of human body, so health is necessary, but I still believe psychological health is more important than physical health. Because if you are, I mean, I have seen people who are disabled and they cannot move, but because their mind is working, they are doing fabulous things. So that is more important. And I mean the social thing. Social is you need you need friends, you need someone where you can talk. And another thing I realized is, especially in immigrant society, is if you are social, you will get by default opportunity to be a little bit creative. That can be drama, that can be dance, that can be sports, that can be, playing some instrument, because you need that kind of some hobby, some creativity, some space where you will just, forget everything and, blend with time.
Yeah.
So that for an immigrant society, so social definitely brings that.
Yes.
Okay, you can definitely play guitar or like a drawing something, but I have seen people who are like used to be good artists, but with life's pressure and all, they just lost it. So, and the social aspect can give you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gautam. Now moving to your another aspect, which is the entrepreneurship, right? You spoke about cultural aspects. You spoke about us coming from a collective society. Another point that I see in a collective society as South Asians, we tend to stick to which is regular, as in a regular 9 to 5 job, regular income. But you kind of broke the glass ceiling there because you chose to become an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurship comes with its own set of risks and all of that. Um, why and how did you choose to? You mentioned a bit in your introduction, but I just want you to elaborate on that one.
See, there are a few ways to look at. One is around 8 billion people in the world right now, okay? 3.5 billion people roughly are employee, okay? Around 500 million, little bit more, are employed, self-employed, okay? Or entrepreneurs, whatever. So, and typically our way of looking employment to the world is like US, which is organized corporate employment.
Yeah.
And the way, the whole world is moving, and with the population explosion, the whole world cannot sustain this type of organized employment. It's not possible. It's not possible because of various things. It's because of the policy, because of the economical size, because of the place, whatever be the reason, it's not possible. So entrepreneurship is very much essential to create jobs in those pockets where these corporate organized employment cannot go or don't want to go, and stuff like that. And with this, AI and all these things, you can definitely see, I mean, the analogy is before in the port, there is to be a lot of porters. Okay. Now you can't see any porter. It's all taken over by machines. Yes, people are coming, people are working there, but they are more skilled individuals. So that low skilled individual are gone fully.
Yeah.
So that mechanism will come in all the industry. So to sustain that entrepreneurship, I guess, is the way. Now, in my view, in like when it comes to India, at least, like definitely I can talk about Bengali. For various reasons. One reason was Bengalis are not that deprived of food or weather or anything like that. We had everything in West Bengal. So when you have everything, then why take hardship? Why bend your finger? To take the ghee out.
Right.
So, and that's why Bengalis are always into exploration of different things, like culture or drama or writing and all these things. But those things kind of gone down, and now people find comfort in that in that secured mentality. And like I have seen a lot, like there are a lot of people here also who are from a very renowned college and very renowned. I find very, very like shocking that they are injecting their next generation. Oh, you get that degree so that you get a better job. I mean, why? No one is saying like, okay, like do something so that you can generate employment.
Yeah.
And funny, like there are a lot of people in India who are doing that. But as a whole, more and more is necessary. Uh, my thinking is the way, I mean, people are still, I mean, getting maybe little bits and pieces of it, like jobs are going. People are not in a job for 5 years, 10 years at a stretch. They have to change jobs and all. In my belief is maybe in 10 years' time, entrepreneurship will be a much safer bet than working for somewhere. And I am looking for those, sunny days for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Goutam. Thank you for sharing your journey. This was very inspiring, heartwarming, and very real because it's very rare to see people speak about their own lived experience with depression and anxiety and mental health. So thank you for being open, Goutam.
No, and like I always like say that I'm not a very successful entrepreneur also, but I enjoy being an entrepreneur. Oh, it's my pride, you know. So no doubt about
That's
that.
what
So
matters, right? As long as you love what you're doing, that's what matters.
oh yeah. And like, if I have to motivate someone, always I will push that, be entrepreneur, generate some and like employment, you know. All these educated people will come and work for you anyway. So
Thank you, Gautam. The one last thing is, what would be your message to our listeners and audience?
I mean there are, different age group like I would like to address that way. So for, or who are in school, who are still in schools, try to explore as many things as you can.
Yeah.
Not just in mobile phone, not just in, sitting in your room. Just go out, do some sports and activities, and mingle with people. Now I don't want to talk about 35 to 45-year-old bracket. I'm just out of it now in that bracket. That bracket is very snobbish, They just they know everything. So I don't want to talk about that, you know. So below like 25 to 35, do as many things as you can so that you can fail, you can learn. Because failing and like putting some a piece of life into something and then failing and then get up from it and do something else, that opportunities are getting very less and less in school days. So that building that resilience, if you cannot do it in school life, maybe try to do it in when you are in mid 20s and 30 in mid 20s, so that by 30 you fail miserably in 3 4 areas. By the time you are in 30, you are sorted that way. Then 35 to 45, I don't want to talk. 45 to 55, um, share your experiences. And I guess world is actually seeing the beauty of it. That is why I think podcasts are becoming very popular or already became popular. Okay, one thing is like barrier to entry is very minimum, but still people want to see real story. People want to see real experience. People want to see the real people behind it rather than, okay, I was like, $3 and then it became 3 million. Oh, those rubbish will be there always, but people would like to see the grind, behind the scene stories. Um, so that bit is also, so 45 to 55 is definitely, and after 55, I guess, it depends on, and after 55 or after retirement, don't sit, do something. um, Definitely giving back is one major thing. If you still can't, do like engage yourself in some creative activities or something so that you will feel engaged. Don't just like I'm getting old and my knees are aching and all these things. No. If you find spiritual talks, go to temple, go to churches or whatever, but meaningfully, not like everyone is doing. So that's basically I would like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Very impactful message. And one last thing is, if someone wants to look you up, where can we find you on social media?
I'm in LinkedIn. So my name Goutam Basak is there. So LinkedIn is there. I will come in Instagram also soon. Not yet.
I will post your LinkedIn chat, LinkedIn link in the chat.
Link.
I might
Yep.
release.
Yep.
Thank you, Gautam. This was very, very heartwarming, inspiring, and very real, to keep it short, because not many people come up and share their lived experiences. So thank you for doing that with us tonight.
And before we finish, okay, so as I know you for a long time, and you are also doing this podcast and various panel discussions and all. So and I also been one of your ones before, way back. Uh, I'm also starting a new one.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to do that for nearly more than a year now, but very soon I will start. I call it URL, unzip, reboot, and leave.
Amazing.
That's the full form of it. And we will talk about all these entrepreneurship,
Right.
immigration, mental health, and spirituality. These are the 4 areas we will speak. So as a host, I would like to ask you a couple of questions before we finish.
Sure. I'm nervous, but I'll try my best.
No, it will be good. So, okay, first question is just briefly your immigrant experience. I would like to hear how education actually helped you or not helped you in your professional journey in this country.
I came here to pursue my PhD. So that was in a very niche field, that was in nanobiotechnology. But now I've kind of switched gears. I'm into regional railways. So it's a different world altogether. So the way it helped me was you pick up so many soft skills as well as technical skills that kind of help you remold your ability to learn things. Because the two worlds that I'm living in, the world I lived in and the world I'm living now, are very different. But those soft skills that I picked up when I was pursuing my degree, they helped me adapt to this new life and merge onto this world. I'm still learning, to be honest. So that way it helped. So yeah, if you don't take education to your head, that's one advice I would like to give out. That I don't sit on the fact that, oh, look at me, I'm a PhD. Although I have given it a lot of sweat and blood. So it's something that I am proud of, but I'm not overconfident of it. And I don't let it drive my existence around. So that way I just pick up my skills that I learn and I apply them everywhere, even in our life outside of work. I apply social skills as well. So it has helped me to a great extent.
Right. And another thing is because you dance, you write. Why don't you write a book?
I've been meaning to, Goutam. Actually, I've been meaning to write a book for like 2-3 years now. It's just that life takes over, household chores take over, and then this kind of concept takes a backseat. But yes, one day I will.
Yeah, like I will help you, but yeah, do that. So and you also do these podcasts and like emceeing and what like many other things. How and definitely a job, okay, which definitely like takes a hell lot of energy and like a brain space. So how these activities, these creative activities or the social activities help you in general in your life? Or how important it is, because you give a lot of importance to that.
It's very important, Gautam. Like the first year when I came, 2013, I didn't know anyone here. So it was only lab and back to home, back home and lab. After a year, I realized I'll go crazy if I don't have anything else outside of this. Then I started socializing. I think then I met all of you and we started a dance journey with your wife as well. It's very important, Gautam, because that keeps me sane. Doing all these, and I don't do these things just for show and tell. I started the podcast to do grassroots work to help the community, and that will be my agenda till the last day I'm running this podcast. So it's not just that, oh, look at my profile, this is all glittery with all of these things that I do. Dance is because I want to bring a relevant performance whenever I'm on stage. So it keeps me alive and it keeps my passion alive, which helps me function from Monday to Friday that way.
Yeah. No, really, you are doing good. So I'm not asking anymore. We will do in our URL with you. Then I will ask you a lot more questions.
Thank you, Goutam. Thank you for giving me time on a Wednesday night. I wish you the best of luck in your journey and for your new podcast as well. Looking forward to hear more about it when we meet. To our listeners, I hope you really liked what Goutam Basak had to share about his journey as an entrepreneur, as an author, and most importantly, as his lived experience with his mental health. It's so important that we listen to these stories and we take away these things when we go back, because you need to be open about listening to them, and you need to be open about accepting that if something is not working in your brain, how can you be physically all right? And if you've heard me for a while, I hope you like the content that I put on the table. If you've got any thoughts or feedback, please write to me at awaz-e-haqiqat@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Awaz-e-Haqiqat as well. On that note, Goutam, thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.